There's a story about a young rabbi who came to his new community, and the parsha of the week was Pinchas, as it is this week. They took out the Torah scroll to read, and he was reading it, and he noticed that on the word shalom, which is very soon after the beginning of the parsha, that the letter vav was broken. If a letter is broken in a Sefer Torah, it's not kosher. So he told them, look, we have to put this Torah scroll back and get another one. So they brought out another one. And there was the same mistake. And he couldn't understand. How could it be that we've got two Torah scrolls with exactly the same mistake? But he put it back, and they took out a third one. And again, it was the same mistake, until it dawned on him that perhaps this letter has to be written this way. And indeed, that is the halakha, that is the law. That when Hashem says to Pinchas that he's going to give him as a reward for his courageous act, he's going to give him Briti Shalom, my covenant of peace. The word peace, Shin Lamed Vav Mem, the Vav is actually broken in half. It's what's called a Vav Keter. And this is perhaps the only place in the entire Torah where a letter is written in this way. Sometimes you have a letter that's written big, or a letter that's written small, or a letter that's left out. But here the letter should be cut in half. That is something that's completely unique to this situation. And the question is why? And I'd like to suggest the following, that perhaps what the Torah is telling us is as follows. Often we try to aim for an absolute peace, shalom. There has to be peace. So let's say you've got a family, and there's problems in the family, and people aren't getting on, and they come to see a rabbi, or they come to see some type of a psychologist for advice. They want to put back all of the pieces, get the family back to what it was to begin with. And often if you aim for that type of an ideal, if you aim for perfection, you're actually never going to reach it, and you're not going to be able to exist in a way that's good. And perhaps what the Torah is telling us is as follows. It doesn't have to be that peace is complete. You know, very often, as long as countries are not at war with one another, at least they have some type of a truce that's understandable. Think of Israel and Egypt. These were two countries that were enemies for a very, very long time. And yet their prime ministers came together and they were able to make peace. It's a very tense type of a peace. I wouldn't say that the two nations exactly love one another, but it was the best peace that they could achieve. And maybe that's what the Torah is telling us. Hineni noten Lord Briti Shalom. I'm giving Pinchas my covenant of peace. He had to kill two people. It was a courageous act. It was the correct thing to do. And perhaps he's never going to be completely at peace with himself. But nevertheless, he can live with himself. You can live as long as there isn't war and there isn't animosity. Things might not be perfect. They might not be the way that they were before. But at least there is some level of peace. And on that, I wish you a Shabbat Shalom, a Shabbat of peace.